Hey, what's up, people of the earth? How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to our channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today, let me show you some of the gameplay and impressions of newly released Crysis Remastered on PS4 Pro. Well, how does it stack up? Is it straight up garbage or console's new shiny toy? Well, spoiler alert, it is neither of them. Well, let me get back to 2007 when Crysis released. It shook up the PC world. No PC could run it on its maximum settings. Can it run Crysis? Became a trend, or so to say a meme. Well, PS3, Xbox 360 had their own port as well. They could barely do 30 FPS and the resolution was meager sub 720p. Now fast forward to 2020, great year, right? Crytek took up the challenge to show modern GPUs and console can you run Crysis treatment. Though PC world is enthusiastic to melt their Pascal, Turing, Ampere GPUs, consoles stand on their own, taking bullets straight to the head. Here in PS4 Pro, Crysis offers three modes: a quality mode, a performance mode, and of course, a ray tracing mode. Yeah, you heard it right. The shiny new next-gen ray tracing makes a debut in current-gen consoles. Though base PS4 and Xbox One and One S run without ray tracing, on the other side, PS4 Pro and Xbox One X has their own ray tracing mode. We are not Digital Foundry here. We do not do pixel counting or explore or compare every detail. We are not here to nitpick. As a common man, this is what we saw. I turned on quality mode in my PS4 Pro. It looked great straight out the bat. I'm using 27-inch 4K monitor. Game looks sharp enough. I can definitely say it's not native 4K, but it looked very good at 1440p. I guess some sort of upscaling was used. But what I can definitely say is that my neighbors could hear my PS4 Pro. It was crying for help, running its fan to the full speed trying to beat the sound of the plane. I mean, come on, it took the shit out of my PS4 Pro. The captured footage over here is just 1080p. I really hope that you can see the sharpness of the image in the quality mode over here. When I switched to the performance mode, things changed. Resolution dropped to 1080p, but the frame rate now is much higher. I could say it was close to 60 FPS, and I could definitely feel the game is more responsive. Really loved the way it did, and I prefer to play this way. Being a first-person shooter, there is definitely a heads up having high frame rate in a game. The game is just not bells and whistles, but there are definitely some setbacks here. Game looks flat with low resolution textures on rocks and vehicles. Game looks good in the broad daylight, but when it comes to the night, the game looks hardly any good compared to the daylight. Except there was some missions where there was moonlight involved, which looked exceptionally good. And apart from this, the game had sometimes rendering issues, poor attention to the details, especially those big rocks which look straight from the PlayStation 2. But overall, those moments were much short in the game, with moment-to-moment action, with excellent motion blur, very good animation and particle effects in the game look just amazing. I loved all the action sequences, the way the AI reacts, dodges and particle effects on the weapon, and everything was perfect on point. The reflection on the sea though was on point. The blue sky was reflecting on the sea, sunshine was amazing, and the trees were soaked with sunshine. Also the way the vegetation reacts, oftentimes it looked amazing. On the negative side again, low textures, poor tessellation often makes you think, is it really a remaster?
Sharks are on standby. Secure that landing zone and we'll send in reinforcements.
But overall, where it really matters, the game looks amazing. I also encountered issues whenever a game saves. There is a massive frame drops. It is the same with the base PS4, which runs at 1080p 30 FPS, and the quality is equivalent to the performance mode of the Pro.
I need you to take the front line. Get inside that mining complex and find General Kya. My boys will secure the perimeter of the compound. We'll have a VTOL on standby for extraction once you locate.
To spice things up, when I turned on the ray tracing mode, the game looked shockingly beautiful. All the positive things I said makes it look realistic. Oftentimes, I feel like I'm in next generation. With ray tracing, places where there were puddles, rain, reflective materials, it looked just fantastic. When you enable ray tracing mode, game switches back to 1080p 30 FPS, which I didn't care because at the end I played majority of the game with the ray tracing on because it just looked amazing. And talking about my PS4, it was much quieter and the experience was much smoother. Graphics aside, the game has excellent audio. You will feel every bullet that hits your armor. The sound it makes, God, it's good. Though many people complain there is an audio issue in the game, but I never faced with my PS4. It was much great experience with me. The game by itself is very good with decent story, good satisfying ending and great action which I really enjoyed. It made me immediately jump back to my PC and try to finish Crysis 2 and 3. Let's get to the bottom line here. Should you really buy or skip this game? Look, if you're a Crysis fan and if you have a PS4 Pro, you will not be disappointed. It's a pretty decent game with multiple graphics options. Oftentimes it looks bad, but when it looks good, Crysis is like a teaser to the next gen. So people, thank you for watching our first ever review on our channel. We hope to bring you more content to you guys. So please share, subscribe, comment your thoughts and enjoy the game.